Hello everybody, this is Stephen Whitfield, drilling contractor here at the 2023 IADC World Drilling Conference in London, England, and with me right now is Rod Hutton, Associate Director, Petrodata Rigs at S&P Global. Rod gave a presentation here at the conference talking about the markets, what we're going to see with various rig sectors and all of that good stuff that we know that the viewers love to see. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to talk a little bit about where S&P Global sees things coming in the near term. So, Rod, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you very much, Stephen.
So one of the things that you pointed out in your presentation was about contract duration. You said you're seeing sort of an increase in contract duration. Why are we seeing that? Where are we seeing the push there?
This is a factor of the markets getting tighter, the market improving for the drilling contractor anyway. So the contract durations are increasing because the terms and conditions of the contracts are becoming more favourable to the contractors. So they're able to dictate that longer term contracts from the operators, which have more value to them. Plus, the number of contracts that we're seeing in the Middle East from the national oil companies like Saudi Aramco or ADNOC are also generally between 3 and 5 years. So that's had a big impact on improving the average size of the contract duration.
Another thing kind of brought up was about marketed supply, and that we're seeing kind of a limited marketed supply right now. And, I guess we want to know kind of where are we seeing that supply and why is it so limited?
We are seeing this in the ultra-deep water floater sector. This is a consequence of, as in the jackup market, a large number of longer-term contracts being agreed in the last couple of years at least, particularly driven by the market in South America. And this is eating into the supply of deep water floaters in particular. But we're also seeing in the jackup market, because of the activity in the Middle East, that the marketed supply is diminishing there also. So you really have two markets that are driving and eating into the marketed supply. That's the South America market for floaters and the Middle East for jackups.
So you also mentioned that ultra deep water drill ship demand has nearly doubled from 2020 levels, and that we're going to see demand sort of outstripping supply to 2025. So where are we going to see this demand really coming from? What's going to be the push there?
Again, we're seeing continued strong demand in the Golden Triangle, so that's West Africa, the US Gulf, and South America. A number of field developments that are potentially coming into the market in West Africa has helped improve that market. We've seen strong demand continue from Petrobras in South America, and also a strong market in Guyana and Suriname from the operators there, which has become a newer part of the market in recent years, and that's eating up quite a lot of available supply as well. And then we've had some really interesting discoveries in Namibia by Shell and Total Energies, and that is we don't quite know how that's going to affect deep water demand going forward, but the size of these fields is really quite substantial, and it wouldn't be surprising if more rig demand is a consequence of that.
So the jackup market, you're saying we're going to have a little bit of steadier growth in the jackup market. So what are we going to see there?
We'll see continued strong demand in the Middle East. In particular, that's the one region that has really driven this kind of increase we've seen in the jackup market. The Saudi Aramco, ADNOC have been extremely busy in chartering jackups over the last couple of years at long-term durations, and that has really strengthened the jackup market worldwide. And it means like some of the areas that have some of the available supply now, like Northwest Europe, where demand is a little bit softer, might see some of these rigs move in time to areas like the Middle East.
So what about the high-spec jackup market? Are we going to see an increase in demand there, or is it going to be sort of flat relative to everything else?
That is the part of the market that when the new requirements come out from Saudi Aramco and other operators in the Middle East, they're specifically looking for higher spec units now. And gradually we're seeing standard units, that's the kind of older 1980s builds, gradually getting faded out, and the market replacing them with higher spec, more modern rigs that offer more technical capability.
So lastly, one of the points that you had made when you're talking about sort of the floater market is that we're seeing floaters leaving Northwest Europe and moving to some of the other sort of hotspots around the world, like Brazil, West Africa, places like that. Why are we seeing that? What's sort of driving that shift?
That's basically just a lack of supply in those markets and an oversupply in Northwest Europe. So even those rigs are ostensibly harsh environment floaters, the fact that they can do deep water work in most cases means that they're still able to do some of the deep water work in other parts of the world. But we're also seeing some of the shallower water semis in Norway moving to Australia, where there's a substantial requirements coming through for work, not in deep water, but still requiring a high-spec rig. So you have really high-spec deep water floaters going to West Africa or other parts of the world that are deep water focused, but also harsh environment mid-water units going to Australia in particular, where there's a lack of modern mid-water rigs.
Well, Rod, thank you so much for giving us this insight onto the markets and where we're seeing everything going with the different sectors. It's very valuable information for the industry, so thanks again.
Thank you very much, Stephen.
And thank you for visiting Drilling Contractor.